What are some other methods of processing?
There's so much out there. I think, for a lot of people, they're a little daunted by meditation, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, there's, Vipassana is one end of things. If you feel like going away for 10 days and being silent, fantastic. Go ahead and, sign up and try it out. But there's, lighter forms of meditation, things like Headspace, different apps. But then I think going to a psychologist is like a big one. If you have access to that, I think that can do phenomenal things in terms of improving your quality of life. Or different healing modalities. I've heard of like tapping. There's different sort of trauma-informed healing modalities that are out there.
Breathing,
sound, different forms of yoga, asanas that have really helped people. Oftentimes I like to ask on Instagram, what has actually helped you let go? And I'll get hundreds of comments of people just, all these different methods that are either very old or recently developed that are actually helping people. And to me, it's shocking because I don't even know half of them. I know they're out there. I know they're, different people will connect to different methods. So I always like to ask that question. So, hopefully someone who's new to this and is actually feeling that building up of courage to actually try something new, hopefully sees something that they can then research and sign up for.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed, I did this Ironman last year, and we can talk about it later, but that long endurance training was also a weird form of meditation / pain, pushing through pain thresholds. And
you're building a lot of strong determination.
And there was a lot, I was processing a lot of stuff. I mean, I had tears driven down my face while I'm running. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in Ironman, they do it for that reason. Like they're really processing a lot of old things. There's a lot of recovering addicts there, and that's definitely their form of connection to the soul, for sure. What about plant medicines? This is something a lot of people are going to these days, ayahuasca ceremonies, that kind of thing. Is that an option? Do you know much about that stuff?
I actually don't. I mean, I've tried LSD, I've tried mushrooms, and they definitely, expanded my mind a bit, but it's just not, for me personally, it just compares. It's nothing compared to meditation, right? I can't even quite explain well how much more you would get out of something like that. I think I've had friends who've done ayahuasca who've also done Vipassana, and they, benefited from both. But I don't know if it's things that you can actually compare, or if one is better than the other or whatnot, right? They have different goals, I believe. Yeah. I think that's one thing that's a lot of people forget. I think one common saying is that all paths lead to the same place, but actually, if you really explore the different paths out there, the different paths actually have different goals. So if you're very mindful of what's happening, you want to find something that connects with your personal aspirations and do it. See how deeply you can go, and especially within a safe environment, right? You want to be in a good incubator where when you start feeling that inner turbulence, those who have had more experience than you can hold space for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was in Costa Rica a year ago and had 3 ceremonies, one of them really intense, the most intense experience of my whole life.
Yeah.
And it was great because what happens is you're confronting pain and emotion that you would normally run away from. And for 2 or 3 hours, which can feel like 2 or 3 years or 100 years, you are forced to be there. And that way you have to process, be with it. I'm reliving it right now. But to be honest, the people that get the most out of their ayahuasca experiences come back and meditate on that stuff for a year. And so I find that the people that really get a lot of value out of it come back, and then they try to really incorporate it into their life through usually a lot of meditation.